The sun rose over Abilene like it always did, slow, burning, merciless. Dust curled through the streets as if the town itself was trying to disappear. But today, something was different. The silence wasn't peaceful. It was heavy. Suffocating. People didn't open their doors that morning. Shops stayed closed. Even the dogs didn't bark. Because everyone knew, they were coming. The Black Vultures. A gang so ruthless their name alone could empty a street. They didn't rob just for money. They didn't kill just for survival. They ruled through fear, pure, cold, merciless fear. And today, Abilene was theirs. It started with hoofbeats. Slow. Deliberate. Echoing like thunder across the empty town. 5 riders appeared through the dust, black coats flowing, guns hanging low like they were extensions of their hands. At their center rode a man with a scar splitting his face from eye to jaw, Victor Kane, the leader of the Black Vultures. He smiled. And that smile meant suffering. "Come out, you rats!" Kane shouted, his voice slicing through the silence. "We know you're hiding." A window creaked open just an inch. A terrified pair of eyes peeked out. Kane didn't hesitate. Bang! The shot shattered the window and sent the man inside screaming. The gang laughed. "Let that be a lesson." Kane yelled. "This town pays, or it burns." One by one, doors began to open. Not out of courage, but desperation. A trembling shopkeeper stepped forward, clutching a small sack of coins. This is all I have." Kane dismounted slowly, boots crunching against the dirt. He took the bag, weighed it in his hand, then threw it back in the man's face. "I said everything." Before the man could beg. Crack. Kane's pistol struck his skull, dropping him to the ground. A woman screamed from the crowd. That was when things got worse. "Search every house," Kane ordered calmly. "Take what you want." The gang spread out like wolves. Doors were kicked in. Children cried. Men were beaten. Women were dragged into the streets. Abilene wasn't just being robbed. It was being broken. Near the edge of town, an old stable stood half-collapsed, forgotten by most. Inside, a young girl clutched her little brother, both trembling. "Don't make a sound," she whispered. But fate doesn't always listen. Footsteps approached. Heavy. Slow. A shadow stretched across the doorway. One of the vultures stepped inside, grinning. "Well now, what do we have here?" The girl grabbed a rusted shovel, trying to look brave. "Stay back." The man laughed. "You think that'll stop me?" He stepped closer. And closer. Until. "Stop, you bastards." The voice was quiet. But it carried. The outlaw froze. "Who said that?" Silence. Then. A figure stepped into the doorway. Dust-covered boots. A long coat worn by years of travel. A hat pulled low, shadowing his face. And a gun, already in his hand. The Nameless Gunslinger. No one in Abilene had seen him arrive. No one knew his name. But in that moment, everyone felt it. Something had changed. The outlaw sneered. "You picked the wrong day to play hero." The gunslinger didn't move. Didn't blink. Didn't even breathe differently. "I said, stop." The outlaw reached for his weapon. Too slow. Bang. The shot echoed like a thunderclap. The man dropped instantly. Dead before he hit the ground. Outside, the chaos paused. Heads turned. Kane's smile faded. Well, he muttered. "Looks like we've got ourselves a problem." The gunslinger stepped forward into the sunlight, revealing a face hardened by pain, and eyes that had seen too much. "I'm not your problem," he said coldly. "I'm your ending." The wind picked up. Dust swirled. And for the first time that day, fear changed sides. The streets of Abilene held their breath. 5 outlaws had come to own the town. Now only 4 remained. And one man stood against them. Victor Kane chuckled, though there was no humor in it. "You've got guts," he said, stepping forward. "But guts don't keep you alive." The gunslinger said nothing. He simply adjusted his stance. "Ready. Always ready." Kane gestured to his men. "Kill him." 2 of them moved at once, spreading out, circling like predators. They were experienced killers, fast, ruthless, precise. But they weren't ready for him. The first man fired. The gunslinger moved like lightning. Bang! The bullet missed him by inches. Bang! His return shot hit clean, straight through the chest. The second outlaw rushed, firing wildly. Too desperate. Too sloppy. The gunslinger stepped in close. 1 shot. 1 kill. Silence fell again. Only Kane and one last man remained. Kane's expression darkened. This wasn't supposed to happen. Not here. Not to him. "You think this makes you a hero?" Kane spat. The gunslinger finally spoke. "No." "Then what are you?" A pause. The wind whispered through the empty town. "Then. Someone who's tired of burying innocent people." For a moment, something flickered in his eyes. Pain. Memory. A past he couldn't outrun. Kane noticed it. And smiled. "Ah. I see it now," he said softly. "You've lost something." The gunslinger's grip tightened. Kane drew his weapon fast. But not fast enough. Bang! The last of the vultures fell. Now only Kane remained. The 2 men stood facing each other in the center of Abilene. Dust circled them. The entire town watched from doorways and windows. This was it. Kane smirked. "You're good. I'll give you that. But I didn't build my name by being second best." "Draw," the gunslinger said. A heartbeat passed. Then. Both moved. 2 shots rang out. 1 echoed longer. Kane staggered. Looked down. Blood spread across his chest. He dropped to his knees. "How?" he whispered. The gunslinger stood untouched. "Because you kill for power," he said quietly. "I kill, so others don't have to die." Kane collapsed into the dust. And just like that, it was over. The black vultures were gone. Abilene was free. For a long moment, no one moved. Then slowly, a door opened. Then another. People stepped out into the sunlight, disbelief written across their faces. The young girl ran from the stable, still holding her brother. "You saved us," she said softly. The gunslinger looked at her. For a brief second, the hardness in his eyes faded. "Take care of each other," he said. "Wait," someone called. "What's your name?" He paused. Back turned. Hat low. A ghost already fading. Names didn't matter anymore. Not after everything he'd lost. Not after everything he'd done. He stepped forward. And disappeared into the horizon. Leaving behind only silence. And a story that would never be forgotten. That if this story moved you, if you felt the courage, the pain, and the justice of the Wild West, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Because more powerful stories like this are coming, stories of survival, revenge, love, and legends who refuse to be forgotten. Hit the like button, share with your friends, and tell us in the comments. Backhand index pointing right. Would you stand against fear, if you were the last one left?